Russia's President Vladimir Putin has urged Barack Obama, as a Nobel Peace Prize holder, to consider the future victims of any military action taken by America against Syria. He also directly questioned the use of chemical weapons by the regime of Bashar al-Assad. Let's now hear more about what he had to say from RT's Sean Thomas, who's now joining me live from Moscow with the details. Hi there, Sean. So the president had some strong words there, didn't he? Please bring us up to speed.
Well, certainly, President Vladimir Putin was addressing the press in Vladivostok, and he did have some strong words to say on the subject of Syria. He said that Russia is, of course, against the use of chemical weapons and weapons of mass destruction. But in this particular case, we need to wait and see for the UN to do their job, for the investigation to come forward, and, as Russia's position has always been, then act in a lawful manner as a global community. Now, one of the things he says is that it is ridiculous that the Assad regime used weapons, chemical weapons, against his own people, saying that under these circumstances it just doesn't call for it. Let's listen to what he had to say on that subject.
Syrian government forces are advancing. In some areas they've surrounded the rebels. To think that at such a time they would give a trump card to those calling for intervention is utter nonsense.
Now, as the UN chemical weapons inspection team has just left Syria, we haven't heard anything back yet. And he says that if the proof of chemical weapons has not yet been presented, it means that there isn't any. Now, the other thing is he spoke about his surprise about the British government, who met over this past week to debate the idea of intervention in Syria. He said he was surprised that they voted down the idea, but that it proves that there are sane, rational people who are out there who are using common sense in this situation. He also appealed to President Obama, not just as a president, but as a peace Nobel laureate, basically saying, look, if weapons are used, look at what it will do to the peace process. Let's listen to his words on that.
Let's not forget that Barack Obama is a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. Over the past decade, the US has started several conflicts in various parts of the world. But did that really solve any problems? Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, there's no democracy there now, which is what the US claimed it tried to bring. There's no civil peace or balance. All of this needs to be taken into account before making the decision to start bombing Syria, which will lead to civilian casualties.
Expects a U.S. airstrike at any time. Putin urging restraint at this moment in time. Yulia?
All right, Sean, thank you very much indeed for that. RT's Sean Thomas, live from central Moscow. Thank you very much again.